You confuse the enemy not with chaos, but with calm. Let that sink in for a moment, my friends, because when someone hurts you, they expect noise, they expect drama, they expect the same version of you they walked all over, crying, pleading, chasing, explaining. But what they never see coming is silence. Calm silence. That's what rattles them. That's what shakes the ground they thought was stable. Not your voice, but your disappearance. Not your reaction, but your unpredictability. You want to confuse the one who hurt you. You don't scream, you vanish. Before we go any further, if you've ever been taken for granted, if they hurt you and walked away like it meant nothing, hit that like button, subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you will shift your power forever. Hey folks, imagine this. You walk into your favorite store, week after week. You smile, you pay full price, you stay loyal. But the service gets worse. They barely greet you, they stop thanking you, they start treating you like you're invisible, and you still keep coming back. But one day, you don't. No text, no warning, no goodbye. You simply stop showing up. Days pass, then weeks, and now the store manager is scratching their head. Where did they go? They check the cameras, call your name, scroll through old receipts, but you've already found better. That's the confusion I'm talking about. Not loud, not angry, just gone. That's how you hit where it hurts. You don't fight fire with fire. You don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you break. You give them silence so loud it echoes in their mind for weeks. You remove your presence like a magician pulling the curtain, leaving them staring at an empty stage, wondering what happened. And let me tell you something else. People don't value what they understand. They value what they can't predict. They don't obsess over what they control. They obsess over what slips through their fingers. But most of you were taught the opposite. You were told, if I explain enough, maybe they'll get it. Or, if I keep trying, maybe they'll love me right. No, my friends, that's the lie. The more they hurt you and still see you standing there, the more they believe they can get away with it. But when you vanish without explanation, when you stop playing the role they cast you in, that's when the confusion begins. That's when the regret starts to bloom, slowly, painfully, deeply. Because here's a brutal truth. When they think you're always available, they never panic. But the moment they realize they don't have access anymore, that's when they start shaking. And look, I know what you're thinking. But what if they don't notice? What if they never care? Listen, if someone only cares when you disappear, they were never worthy of your presence to begin with. You don't do this to get them back. You do this to get you back, to remind yourself of your power, your worth, your dignity. This isn't about revenge. This is about resurrection. So buckle up, stay with me till the end, because by the time we're done here, you won't be the one hurting anymore. You'll be the one they can't figure out, the one they underestimated, the one who mastered the art of being unforgettable through silence. Now, say it with me and write it in the comments. Calm is my power. Go ahead, drop it below. Let the world know. And if you're ready to shift the energy forever, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. We're just getting started. Number 1, they expect you to react. That's why you don't. The loudest scream in the room is the one that never makes a sound. They expect the yelling, the long texts, the emotional explosion, the typing bubble, the begging, the breakdown, the one last paragraph explaining everything you already said 1,000 times. That's the version of you they think they've mastered. That's the pattern they've gotten so damn comfortable with. Hurt you, watch you react. Pull away, watch you chase, go silent, watch you panic. They think they've got you on a leash made of your own feelings. But my friend, you want to confuse them. You want to shake their entire understanding of who you are. Do the one thing they never prepared for. Don't react, don't chase, don't explain. Go still, go silent, go untraceable. Imagine this. You're watching a thunderstorm on a weather app. Lightning, rain, thunder. Everything is visible, predictable, but then the storm just vanishes off the radar. No warning, no fade out. It just disappears. You refresh the app, still nothing. Suddenly, that storm isn't just noise, it's a mystery. It's power that's no longer yours to track. That's what happens when you stop being the person who always reacts, always shows up with your emotions on display. And I get it, folks. That silence, it's terrifying. It feels like doing nothing. It feels like surrender. You ask yourself, but if I don't say something, won't they think I don't care? If I don't respond, won't they move on? What if they forget me? But let me tell you something. They don't forget silence. They forget noise. They forget the texts they ignored, the tears you cried, the apologies you gave when it was them who should have been saying sorry. They forget what they don't fear losing. But silence, your silence, that haunts them, because now they don't know. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how much damage they caused. They don't know if you're done for good or just waiting. They don't know if you still care or if you've moved on. They don't know who you're becoming. And people don't obsess over the things they understand. They obsess over the questions they can't answer. But here's the trap that gets most people stuck. You think that by not reacting, you're losing power. But the truth is, the moment you stop feeding their ego with your energy, you take it back. You stop being the puppet they can poke just to see you move. You become the plot twist they didn't see coming. You know what reacting does? It confirms their control. You get angry. They know they still have you. You explain. They know you still care. You chase. They know they can still run. But when you go ghost, when you stop showing up to their circus, they're left performing alone, confused, exposed. It won't be easy. It never is. You've been conditioned to think love means trying harder. That silence means you're giving up. That if you don't react, you're letting them win. But let's break that lie right now. You're not letting them win. You're showing them the game is over. There's no prize for proving your pain. There's no trophy for emotional transparency if it's always thrown back in your face. Some people don't change when you explain. They change when they experience the consequences of your absence. So don't feed the urge to react. Let that urge sit in your chest like a fire that you control, not burn. Let them wonder. Let them stew in confusion. Let them sit in the silence they thought they wanted. Because here's what they expect. They expect the version of you they hurt. They expect the version who over-explains, who cries, who breaks, who forgives too fast, who texts back even when they don't deserve it. But what they'll get is a ghost, a presence they can no longer feel, a warmth they can't find anymore, an energy that used to be available 24/7, now locked away. And the best part, you don't have to announce it. You don't need a final message. You don't need a dramatic exit. Just go quiet, go internal, go focused. Because while they're stuck wondering what happened to you, you're already becoming someone they'll never have access to again. So my friends, this is the moment you shift. This is the moment you stop making noise and start making moves. This is the moment you become a question mark in their life they'll never solve. Let them feel the storm that's not on their radar anymore. Say it with me. Write it in the comments. I don't react, I rise. Let the world see it. Let them feel it. Because what's coming next isn't a comeback. It's a transformation, and they won't see it coming. Number 2, they thought you'd break, so break the pattern instead. They don't fear losing you until they can't find you. Let that hit. right between the eyes, because that's the truth you've been running from. They never feared losing you, not because they didn't care, but because they were sure you'd always be there. The messages could go unanswered for days. You'd still reach out. They could flake on plans, disappear, breadcrumb you, and you'd still show up, heart in hand, like nothing happened. That's the pattern they relied on. That's the rhythm they got used to. They didn't expect you to leave. They expected you to bend. But now we break that pattern, because they didn't just hurt you, they got comfortable with hurting you. They treated your forgiveness like it was on autopilot. Push a little, say sorry, watch you come back, push again, pull again. It was a sick little game, and you didn't even realize you were playing it. But here's the shift. Today, you don't react the way they expect. You confuse them, not with revenge, not with games, but with evolution, with a version of you that doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, and doesn't come running. Imagine this for a second. There's a vending machine. You walk up, press the same button every time, and like clockwork, your favorite drink drops. No matter how you treat it, slam the buttons, kick the side, curse under your breath, it always gives, always delivers. Now imagine one day you press the button and nothing comes out. You press it again, still nothing. Suddenly you're not in control. Suddenly you're confused. That's what you become when you stop giving them what they expect. You were the vending machine, reliable, consistent, predictable, until now. This is where the fear creeps in, not for you, but for them, because people don't start valuing what they had until the script changes, until the person they thought they knew vanishes into silence. They thought you'd break. But what breaks instead is their illusion of control. That fantasy they built in their mind, that no matter what they did, you'd always come back. That illusion is gone now. And what you've replaced it with is silence, distance, uncertainty. And trust me, my friend, nothing drives people more insane than uncertainty. You want to know what haunts them, not the memories, not the last fight, not the tears you cried. What haunts them is not knowing what you're thinking, not knowing if you're done for good, not knowing if you've already moved on. They check your status, they watch your stories, they ask mutual friends, have you heard from them? But nothing. And in that nothing, they spiral. Because now you're no longer the emotional blueprint they counted on. You're the mystery they can't decode. But here's the part that hurts to admit. You trained them to think this way. Yeah, it stings, but it's the truth. You kept showing up even when they disrespected you. You kept offering softness where they gave you coldness. You gave them all the emotional perks of your presence without demanding accountability. And now you're exhausted, confused, wondering why they keep doing it. But the answer is simple. They don't fear the consequences because there never were any. Until now. Now you get it. Now you flip the energy. This isn't about playing games. It's about protecting your peace. It's about breaking a toxic cycle you never signed up for. You're not being petty. You're being powerful. You're not ghosting. You're growing. And trust me, they'll feel the shift. They'll feel it when their messages go unanswered. When their weak, I miss you texts are met with silence. When they realize you've gone from chasing them to choosing you. And here's what they won't say out loud, but they'll feel it in their chest. They miss the access. They miss the version of you who over-explained, who softened your tone, who second-guessed your own boundaries just to keep peace. They miss the version of you who would have broken by now. But that version of you, dead and buried. And they know it. But the fear will whisper in your ear. What if they forget me? What if they stop caring? What if I never hear from them again? And to that I say, Good, because if your silence makes them forget you, they never respected you. If your absence doesn't shake them, your presence never mattered to them in the first place. And that's a truth worth knowing, no matter how much it hurts. Because once you know it, you can finally stop proving yourself. You can stop pouring yourself into people who only take. You can stop bleeding emotionally just to be seen. Let them wonder, let them sit in the silence, let them pace the floor, read old texts, try to decode the last thing you said. Let them search for signs that don't exist anymore, because this time you don't come back. This time you don't react. This time you let them sit with the weight of what they did and the weight of your absence. Because that's how you confuse someone who hurt you, not by becoming louder, not by throwing shade, but by becoming unavailable, emotionally, mentally, energetically. You shift your focus, you protect your peace, you build a life so full, so loud, with purpose, they can't even hear themselves over the sound of your growth. And here's the final twist. They'll come back. Oh, they always do. But by then, you won't even want the apology. You won't need the closure. You won't be waiting for the "I was wrong," because you'll realize they never deserved the version of you they had access to in the first place. So say it with me and drop it in the comments. I don't break, I evolve. Let the world see it. Let the ones who hurt you feel it, because what's coming next is a version of you that no one saw coming, and they'll never figure out how to get that version back. Number 3, they won't expect silence to be so loud. You don't punish them with words, you punish them with peace. That's what they don't tell you, folks. They don't tell you that the most powerful thing you'll ever do after being hurt is go quiet. Not fake quiet. Not temporary silence waiting for a reaction. I'm talking about the kind of silence that feels final. The kind that doesn't come with a warning or an explanation or a "maybe we'll talk later." Just stillness, just gone. You see, when someone hurts you, they expect a performance. They expect tears, shouting, an emotional storm. But when they get nothing, when they're met with stillness, that's when the real panic begins. Imagine this. You're at a concert. The music is loud, the lights are flashing, the crowd is roaring. Then suddenly everything cuts. Lights out, sound off, complete darkness. What happens? Everyone freezes. Eyes dart around. Hearts race. The silence, that sudden absence of noise, is deafening. That's you. That's what happens when you remove yourself from someone's life without theatrics, without begging, without noise. They expect the fireworks. You give them a blackout. And trust me, they'll pretend it doesn't bother them. They'll walk around with that fake confidence, telling their friends, "It's whatever, I'm fine." But inside, they're spiraling, because silence forces them to sit with themselves. And most people aren't ready for that. Especially the ones who hurt you. Especially the ones who never thought you'd stop reacting. They don't know how to handle a version of you that's no longer performing. They don't know how to reach someone who isn't trying to be understood anymore. You gave them the emotional blueprint for too long. You showed them exactly how to push your buttons. You taught them what would trigger a response. You trained them to believe that no matter what they did, you'd eventually break the silence. But not this time. This time, you hold your silence like a sword. Sharp, clean, deadly, and the beauty of it is, you don't owe anyone a thing. But I get it, my friends. The silence isn't just hard for them, it's hard for you too. You're sitting there thinking, what if they forget me? What if they think I didn't care? What if this silence pushes them away forever? Let me ask you something. What has speaking done for you so far? What did all those conversations bring you? Did the long messages change them? Did the explanations make them care more? Or did they just learn how far they could push you without losing you? Because here's the truth. Words don't teach people lessons. Loss does. Words don't shake them. Distance does. Words don't leave a mark. Absence does. The louder you scream, the easier it is to ignore you. But when you go silent, now they have to lean in. Now they have to wonder. And that wondering, that's where the real confusion begins. They'll scroll through your old messages. They'll check your stories. They'll refresh your profile. Why aren't they posting? Why aren't they replying? Are they seeing someone else? Have they moved on? That silence, that mystery, it eats at their mind like termites in a wooden house. Slow, quiet, destructive, and yet you don't say a word. That's how you win, not by proving you were right, not by forcing them to understand, but by removing your presence so fully, so confidently, that they're left haunted by your absence. You were the one who was always there, the one who picked up the phone, the one who forgave, the one who explained. And now you're just gone, like smoke in the wind, nothing to hold on to, nothing to grasp. That confuses them more than any speech ever could. And don't you dare fall into the trap of being the bigger person by giving them closure. Don't fall for the lie that says silence is cold, silence is sacred, silence is for your healing. It's the boundary no one can cross. It's the pause that rewrites the entire story. Because in silence, they finally have to face what they did without your help. You're no longer walking them through their guilt, no longer softening the blow, no longer handing out emotional cushions. You left the table, you took your chair, you took your peace. And they're still sitting there talking to a ghost. But you're not waiting anymore. You're not refreshing your inbox, hoping they notice. You're not checking if they viewed your story, because the silence isn't about them. It's about you. It's about turning down the volume of their chaos so you can finally hear your own voice again. It's about detoxing from the addiction of maybe they'll get it this time. It's about peace, not punishment. You're not trying to teach them a lesson. You're teaching yourself what happens when you stop tolerating confusion disguised as love. And listen, there's power in being missed, but there's freedom in no longer needing to be. There's freedom in waking up one morning and realizing that you're not waiting for their apology. You're not waiting for the clarity. You're not waiting for them to come back around. You're just done, not bitter, not angry, just no longer available for the version of them that thought hurting you had no cost. Let them feel the shift, let them guess, let them wonder. Because when you stop explaining, when you stop reacting, when you stop giving them the script, they don't know how to play the part anymore. And that's when the real regret sets in. That's when they realize your silence wasn't a punishment. It was a goodbye they never got to hear. So say it with me and drop it in the comments. My silence speaks volumes. Let them feel it. Let the world feel it. And stay with me, because what's coming next will make sure they never forget what they lost. Number 4, they expect you to wait. That's why you don't. The moment they believe you'll always wait, they stop running toward you. And that's the most dangerous place you can be, my friend. Waiting for them to come back, waiting for them to grow up, waiting for the apology they never gave, the effort they never showed, the love they never truly gave you. You sit there, heart in hand, eyes glued to the door, hoping one day they'll walk back in and finally see you, finally choose you, finally treat you the way you always treated them. But let's be real, how long have you been waiting already? How many nights did you stare at your phone, hoping to see their name? How many times did you rehearse the conversation in your head, imagining them saying everything you needed to hear? And still, nothing. Just silence, just distance, just empty space where their effort should be. And the crazy part is, they know you're waiting. They feel it. They feed on it. Because when someone knows they can come back whenever they feel like it, they lose all urgency to treat you right in the first place. Why would they change? Why would they grow? Why would they care about losing you when they think you'll always be there? It's like this, folks. Imagine a bus stop. You're standing there, waiting for a ride that never seems to come. The schedule said 5 minutes, then 10, then 30. But you keep waiting because you still believe it's on its way. You don't leave. You don't question. You just stand there, wasting time, convinced that eventually that door will open for you. But what if that bus never had any intention of showing up? What if it drove by, saw you, and chose to keep going? That's what they did. They saw your loyalty, they saw your consistency, they saw your love, and they didn't stop. They didn't slow down. They didn't turn back. Because deep down, they believed you'd still be standing there when they felt like circling back around. And I know, it's not that easy to just walk away. You've built dreams around them. You've invested time, memories, energy. You keep thinking, what if I leave and they come back the next day? What if I walk away right before they were about to change? That what if is the lie that keeps you stuck. That what if is the reason you keep breaking your own heart just to keep space for someone who already filled theirs with everything but you. But let me hit you with the truth that stings before it sets you free. If someone had to lose you to finally see your worth, they never valued you in the first place. Real love doesn't wait until it's too late. Real love shows up when it matters. Real love doesn't gamble with your heart like it's replaceable. You sitting there, waiting, hoping, stalling your life, that's not love, that's self-neglect. That's you forgetting who the hell you are. That's you pressing pause on your future because someone else couldn't figure out how to treat you right in the present. And let me tell you something, with all the fire I've got in me, you were never meant to be someone's backup plan. You were never meant to be the maybe. You were never meant to be the safety net they fall into when everything else collapses. You are not the emotional waiting room for someone who's still trying to decide if you're good enough. You're the damn destination, and anyone who can't see that doesn't deserve a seat in your life. You see, the second you stop waiting, everything changes. They feel it. They notice. The energy shifts. They check their phone, and this time, nothing from you. They send a breadcrumb, just a little, "Hey, how've you been?" And instead of jumping, you don't respond. They start panicking, not because they love you, but because they lost control of the one person they were sure they'd never lose. And here's the kicker, you don't care anymore, not because you're heartless, not because you stopped feeling, but because you finally realized that waiting wasn't protecting your connection, it was destroying your spirit. It was dimming your light. It was shrinking your world down to a single person who never truly chose you. So you stop. You stop holding space. You stop hoping. You stop checking your phone. You stop giving silent prayers to a love that never gave back. You let go. And the moment you do, something powerful happens. You come back to life. You remember who you were before the waiting, before the disappointment, before you made their lack of effort your responsibility. And suddenly, you don't just stop waiting, you start building. You build a life so full, so rich, so meaningful, they wouldn't even recognize you if they came back. And when they finally do, because they always do, it's too late. You're not bitter, you're not angry, you're just unavailable. Not because you're playing games, but because the version of you they knew doesn't exist anymore. That version waited. This one doesn't. That version gave second chances. This one closes doors. That version believed in potential. This one demands proof. And when they finally realize what they lost, when they sit in the silence and replay the moments where they could have done better, when they scroll through your page and see you glowing, growing, thriving, that's when the regret hits. That's when the confusion starts. And that's when they understand that the one person they thought would always wait didn't. So say it with me and write it loud in the comments. I stop waiting. I start rising. Say it like you mean it. Say it for every time you gave too much. Say it for every night you waited, hoping they'd get it. Say it for the version of you that stayed too long. Because what's coming next, it's not a chapter they'll get to read. It's a whole new book, and they're not even in the footnotes. Stay with me, we're just getting started. Number 5, make them question everything they thought they knew about you. They thought they had you figured out until you became someone they couldn't reach. They thought they knew you. They thought they could predict every move you'd make, hurt you, watch you react, ghost you, watch you panic, pull away, watch you chase. It was a game to them, and for a while, you played your part. You didn't even realize you were dancing to a rhythm they controlled. They built a version of you in their mind, the predictable one, the emotionally available one, the one who always forgives, always returns, always answers. They put you in a box, labeled you safe, and assumed you'd stay there forever, dusty, waiting, loyal. But here's the twist they never expected. You changed, quietly, silently, without warning, no speeches, no dramatic exit. You just started responding differently, or maybe you stopped responding altogether. The version of you that tolerated crumbs, that lowered your standards, that begged for closure, doesn't live here anymore. That version is gone, buried, and in its place stands a stranger to them, a version of you they can't read, can't predict, and, most importantly, can't control. That's the thing. Their power lived in your reactions, in your need to be understood, in your desperation to be seen. Every time they pushed you away, they expected the same thing: a message, a call, an explanation. You trained them to expect it. You made it easy, too easy. So when you suddenly stopped, when the cycle broke, that's when the panic hit. They don't show it right away, no. They act nonchalant. They pretend it doesn't matter. But behind that mask is confusion. Behind that fake calm is a storm. Imagine this: someone always leaves their keys on the same hook. Day after day, it's there. They stop thinking about it. It's automatic, until one day the keys are gone. Not moved, not misplaced. Gone. And suddenly they're tearing through drawers, checking under cushions, retracing every step. That's what happens when your energy disappears from their life. You were always there, emotionally accessible, readable, familiar, and now you're nowhere to be found. And that absence echoes. It doesn't just confuse them, it unnerves them, because now they realize they never actually knew you. They knew a version of you that was constantly adjusting to make them comfortable. The version of you that broke yourself into pieces just to keep the peace. The one who over-explained your pain, hoping it would finally make them treat you right. But the moment you stop performing, the illusion they built around you collapses. And what's worse for them is that they start questioning everything. Did you ever really love them? Were you pretending to care? Are you doing this to hurt them? The truth is, you did love them, and it broke you. But now, you've chosen peace over punishment, growth over guessing, self-respect over second chances. And that's what they never expected. They'll test you. They always do. A harmless message, a vague, "I miss you," a reaction to your story, just enough to see if the old version of you is still alive, just enough to check if they still have access. And when you don't respond, when your silence remains, that's when the cracks begin to form in their ego. That's when the confusion turns to fear. because now they don't know where they stand with you. And nothing makes a person feel more powerless than realizing the script they wrote for you no longer fits. But I know the thoughts running through your head. Am I being too harsh? What if they think I don't care? What if they're really trying this time? These questions are normal. They're human. You have a heart. That's your strength, not your weakness. But here's the truth. If your silence makes them doubt your entire love for them, they never truly understood you in the first place. Because love doesn't disappear. It evolves. It stops begging. It stops bleeding. It stops waiting for someone to realize what they had. And don't let guilt trick you into returning to a place you had to heal from. They loved the version of you that broke, but they don't know how to love the version of you that rebuilt. They don't know how to hold the you that holds yourself now. That's why they're confused. That's why they're watching you from a distance, wondering who you've become, because you no longer give them the validation they fed on. You no longer fall into their traps. You no longer hand out emotional access like free samples. You've become the plot twist, the mystery, the unanswered question, and people don't forget mysteries. They replay them, they revisit them, they lose sleep over them, and now you're the open tab in their mind that never closes. And guess what? You didn't have to lift a finger. No revenge, no games, just stillness, just distance, just the quiet confidence of someone who finally understands their worth. You don't need to post quotes about moving on. You don't need to prove anything. Let them see your growth without explanation. Let them feel your absence without warning. Let them sit in the silence they once ignored. Because now, you're not trying to be chosen. You're not trying to be understood. You're not trying to be predictable. You're simply being undeniable. And when they finally realize what they lost, when they try to circle back, when they try to slip in through a crack in your silence, they'll find a closed door, not locked out of revenge, but because you outgrew the house they kept you trapped in. They thought they knew you, but now they know nothing. And that is the greatest confusion of all. So say it with me and drop it in the comments like you mean it. I am the plot twist. Let the world hear it. Let the ones who hurt you feel it, because what's coming next, they'll never see it coming. Number 6, never let them think you're waiting. If they believe you'll always wait, they'll never rush to treat you right. And that's the painful truth so many people don't want to hear. Because when someone knows you're still there, still hoping, still holding on, they don't feel any pressure to change. Why would they? There's no urgency, no consequence, no fear, just comfort, just access, just you, quietly sitting in the emotional waiting room, praying for a version of them that may never exist. And the worst part, you think this waiting means you're loyal, that it proves your love, that it somehow makes you strong. But what it actually does is weaken your value. It teaches them that they don't have to fight for you, that they can come and go as they please, that your time, your heart, your presence, it's all just sitting there, available whenever they're done messing around with everything else. You become the emotional parking spot they pull into when they're tired of the road. Temporary, convenient, familiar, and they don't even realize how dangerous that is for them. Because the second you decide you're done waiting, everything shifts. The moment you stop making yourself available for someone who's never on time emotionally, they start feeling what they never appreciated before. Your consistency, your effort, your loyalty, your love. But by then, it's too late. Because now, you've left the station. You're not checking the clock anymore. You're not hoping they show up. You're already halfway to a life that doesn't include them. And let's be honest, the only reason they were so casual with your heart in the first place was because you let them be. They didn't fear losing you, because you never gave them a reason to. Every time they disappeared, you left the door unlocked. Every time they messed up, you cleaned up the mess. Every time they went quiet, you filled the silence. And what you thought was love, they saw as certainty. And people don't value what they're certain about. They value what they're afraid to lose. It's like a store with no closing hours. No matter what time someone shows up, the lights are always on. There's no rush, no respect for time, no appreciation. They don't even bother saying thank you anymore. But the day that sign flips to closed, suddenly everyone's at the window, peeking in, wondering why the lights are off, wondering why they no longer have access. That's what you become when you stop waiting. When you stop leaving your heart open like a convenience store that never runs out of love. And I get it, it's not easy. You'll tell yourself, if I just hold on a little longer, if I just give them space, if I'm patient enough, maybe they'll see what they lost. But you know what they see when you wait. They see that they still have power. They see that they can disappear for weeks, months, and you'll still be there. They see that no matter what they do or don't do, you won't walk away. And that illusion gives them permission to delay, to keep you in the background, to put you on emotional layaway. They don't grow that way, they don't change, they don't evolve, because change doesn't happen when they're comfortable. Change happens when they feel the loss, when they notice the silence, when they start reaching out and realize no one's reaching back. That's when the panic sets in. That's when they feel the weight of what they assumed would always be there. So stop waiting, not because you're heartless, not because you've stopped loving, but because you finally understand that your love has value, that your presence is not an unlimited resource, that your energy, your time, your loyalty, it all has worth. And anything with worth must have boundaries. Otherwise, it becomes common. And once something becomes common, it gets replaced. Quickly, quietly, thoughtlessly. And I know part of you is still hoping they'll realize, hoping they'll come back different. But ask yourself this: what has waiting ever given you? Peace? No. Closure? No. Respect? Definitely not. All it's ever given you is anxiety, confusion, and the constant pain of hoping someone wakes up and chooses you when they already had the chance. Waiting doesn't create love. It delays healing. It keeps you stuck. It makes you smaller. You start building your world around maybe one day instead of living fully today. And don't mistake their return as redemption. Some people only come back when they feel you slipping away, not because they love you, but because they hate the idea of losing access to someone who once made them feel important. You're not their emergency exit. You're not their safe zone when life hits hard. You're not their backup when their options fail. You are not a pause button on someone else's chaos. You are the prize. And anyone who doesn't treat you like it shouldn't get another chance. Let them feel the delay. Let them sit in the silence. Let them wonder where you went. Let them panic when the messages don't get replies. Let them taste the discomfort of realizing they're no longer sure about where they stand with you. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. That's balance. That's the cost of taking you for granted. Because here's the truth: when someone truly values you, they don't risk losing you. They show up. They stay consistent. They make it clear. They don't disappear just to see if you'll chase. They don't test you just to see how much pain you'll tolerate. They don't leave you waiting in the dark while they explore distractions in the daylight. They choose you clearly, loudly, fully. And if they're not doing that, let them go. Let them live with the consequences of your silence. Let them sit with the version of themselves that couldn't show up for someone who would have done anything for them. Let them stare at the empty space you used to fill and realize it wasn't empty. It was full of everything they'll never find again. So say it with me and write it in the comments like you mean it. I refuse to wait. Say it for your healing. Say it for your power. Say it for the version of you that kept holding on when you should have walked away. Because what's coming next isn't a reunion. It's a rebirth. And this time, you're not sitting still. You're moving forward, with no backward glance and no seat left open. Number 7, become the standard they'll never reach again. The real punishment for taking you for granted is realizing they'll never meet another you. That's what they don't tell you, folks. They tell you to move on. They tell you to let go. But they don't talk about what happens after that. What happens after the silence, after the distance, after the storm you survived without them. What happens is this: they go searching. They start looking for you in everyone else. Not because they suddenly grew up, not because they finally became worthy, but because they lost access to something they thought they'd never lose. And now they're haunted, not by your absence, but by the realization that no matter where they look, no matter who they talk to, no matter how many smiles they chase, you are irreplaceable. You were never just another body in their life. You were the energy they never understood, the consistency they never earned, the love they never deserved. And now, they feel that hole, that ache, that silence, because no one listens like you did. No one forgives like you did. No one loved like you did. But here's the part that destroys them. They thought they could replace you. They really believed they'd find another version of you, just with fewer boundaries. A little less expectation, a little more convenience, and maybe for a while they convinced themselves they had. Maybe they smiled more, felt lighter, thought they'd upgraded. But slowly, the cracks showed. Slowly, they realized that what you gave them wasn't common. It wasn't ordinary. It was sacred. It was once in a lifetime. And you're not even watching anymore. You're not looking back. You're not stalking their page, waiting for signs of regret. You're too far ahead now, because when you became the standard, you stopped entertaining anything less. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit inside someone else's small idea of love. You stopped explaining your worth and started embodying it. Let me paint the picture. Imagine a luxury watch, handcrafted, rare, elegant, a timeless piece. One day, someone tosses it aside, thinking they'll find another just like it. They pick up cheap replicas, plastic knockoffs. At first, they don't notice the difference. Time is time, right? But soon, the shine fades. The tick isn't as smooth. The value? Gone. And when they finally remember the original, the real thing, they go back, hoping it's still on the shelf. But it's not. It's gone. Sold. Worn by someone who knew exactly what they had. You are that watch, that rarity, that standard, that soul they never should have mishandled. And when they come back, and trust me, they always come back, it won't be because they're ready. It'll be because they finally realized you were the only one who ever got it, the only one who ever saw them, held them, showed up when no one else did. But now, the version of you they want doesn't exist anymore, because this time you're not just unavailable, you're untouchable. That's the ultimate transformation, when you go from trying to prove your value to living in it. When you stop chasing validation and start attracting what actually deserves your presence. When you stop bending to be liked and start standing so tall that the ones who couldn't meet you at your level can't even see you anymore. And they'll feel it. Oh, they'll feel it. Not when you're gone, but when they realize they'll never have access to you again. Not the real you. Not the one who waited, who forgave, who tried and tried and tried. That version of you? They are resting now. He's at peace. They're not coming back. Because they finally realized that giving everything to someone who gave nothing in return is the most expensive mistake they'll never repeat. Let them search, let them compare, let them waste years chasing pieces of what you gave freely, because while they're chasing ghosts, you're building empires. While they're regretting, you're rising. While they're stuck in the memory of who you were, you're too busy becoming someone they'll never even get close to again. And let's be clear, this isn't about revenge. This isn't about making them suffer. This isn't about being bitter. This is about truth, about transformation, about realizing that sometimes the only way to win is to walk away and never look back. Not because you're weak, but because you finally realized your worth isn't up for negotiation. You don't beg to be seen anymore. You don't fight to be chosen. You don't wait for someone to realize you're the best thing that ever happened to them. You know it, you live it, and you let your silence, your distance, your glow up be the only explanation they'll ever get. So when they say, "I miss the old you," you say, "That version of me didn't survive what you put them through." When they say, "You've changed," you say, "Damn right." And when they finally show up, flowers in hand, apology on their lips, trembling with regret, you won't even be there, because the new you doesn't lower your standards to match their growth. You raise your energy so high they can't breathe in your atmosphere. And right now, I want you to do something powerful, not just for them, but for you. Say it with me. Write it in the comments. I am the standard. Say it for every time you settled. Say it for every time you were passed over. Say it for every time they thought you'd always be there. I am the standard. Let it echo, let it burn, let it become you. And if this video reminded you of your power, your worth, your silence, your strength, press that like button right now. Subscribe if you're done waiting for someone to choose you. Share this with anyone who needs to remember who the hell they are. Because what's coming next for you, it's not just healing, it's evolution. And no one who took you for granted will ever be able to touch you again.